I want to do a review on my Predator chipper slash shredder today, mostly on the chipper side of things, as it's not quite the right season to do the shredding, but we're going to talk quite a bit about that chipper and how it works. So just purchased today this Predator chipper and shredder. It's up to 3 inches. As I read reviews on it, I hear it's very good up to 2.5, but if you're going to go above that and up to 3, they better be dry limbs. They better not be fresh cut limbs. I have a ton of trees in my yard, and this is long overdue. I needed this. I'm also going to help my daughter out with it today at her house. We're going to go ahead and get this started. I've got gasoline that's already got, it's 87 octane that's already got stabilizer in it, and then 10W30 motor oil. I live where it rarely gets below freezing, below 32, so I'm going to use the 10W30. If you live where it gets below freezing, the recommendation is to use 5W30. So a couple things to note about this Predator chipper the first time we're using it here. One is right down here is the choke, and before you start it from cold, you're going to put the choke all the way over there. You're going to leave the gas set to on, and then it's a pull start right here, and that's how you're going to go ahead and start it. And then this switch right here, of course, right there, that red switch, that red dial, I don't know if you can see that or not, but it cranks clockwise from the off to the on position, and it's ready to start. The other thing I wanted to show you is right now I'm filling it with oil, and you can see my funnel here, this one with this little lip, because the fill plug is way down here underneath, and really no way to get it there without that guy right there. So I think it's important that you have that there as well. The wheels, when you're assembling this, putting these wheels on right here and the cotter pin goes through it, I can tell you as we come around the other side here, this brake right here, this brake, even though it's open, you still got to kind of force that wheel around it. You can see just wheeling it to the backyard, already kind of marked it up black, and then it goes down to, we step on it down to lock it into place, and you want to do that before you run it. The other thing to note, these nuts and these bolts right here, I don't know if it said it in there, but those are 10 millimeter, and so there's really no good SAE equivalent for 10 millimeter. There's some on the bottom for the stand here, right here. These are 13 millimeter, and a 1/2 inch drive will work just fine to put these on. But like I said, for that 10 millimeter, there's no good SAE equivalent. But for this one, 1/2 inch will work as well for the 4 bolts. There's 1, 2 on this side and 2 on the other side. Just thought I'd run you through those things before the first start. Okay, so we're getting ready here to start it up from cold start. So that cold start on this Predator chipper shredder. You can see right there, that's my Predator chipper shredder from Harvest Freight. And what we want is, we of course want our choke right here into the start position. We want our fuel into the on position. I just turn up just a little bit on my throttle, just barely, and then we'll turn this into the on position, the run button, the red button that you see right there. And so I'm going to go ahead and give this a crank, and we'll see how it starts up. So as you can see there, if you come out of the choke too fast, it will want to stall on you. So you just want to slide slowly out of the choke. Once you have the choke out and it's running a little bit, then you go ahead and push that throttle up, and it starts right up. Haven't run it since yesterday. I used it for probably off and on for about 5 hours yesterday, but you can see how quickly it starts up. The audio wasn't great on this as I did my shredding, but you can see I have 2 piles there. One pile is just mainly logs, the other is branches with leaves on it. Ordinarily I would wait until the leaves have fallen to the ground to do this, but I'm on a little bit of a time crunch here, so I'm doing some branches with some leaves on them, and then probably in a few months, or maybe 2 months, when all the leaves are down, I'll go ahead and do some shredding at that point and show you how the shredder works. Right now what I'm going to do is start loading things. First we're going to take a look at how it does with branches with leaves on it, which you have to kind of feed that as you get to the end of some bushy leaves. And take a look at how quick it dissolves branches that are about 2.5 inches in diameter or less. now that we've done the branches with leaves, let's watch how quickly it chews up these other branches that are without leaves and are a little bit thicker in diameter, up to about 2.5 inches.
Right here, this is a piece that jammed it up. It's got only a 3-inch width, and if you can look here, it gets pretty wide. So what I'm going to do is trim this piece. Similarly, anything with a bend like this, you're going to have trouble getting through because that bend's not going to go down the chute. You're going to have to cut that at that elbow. And again, one that's a little thicker like this, you're going to have to get rid of some of those knobs. Where those branches came off if you want to get this killed. Let's first talk about operation of this thing. As you can see that it started up very easily when I started it up. The chute here, if you look on the chute here, it says up to 3-inch diameter. I don't know if you can make that, but it's tapered from wider to smaller. I have had a couple things getting caught, turn it off. They've actually pulled out very easy. So I like that I'm able to unjam it very easy without feeling like I'm risking myself. Of course, I turn it off first before I do that. What I don't like is I can't get in here with a glove. I have to, I'm about 6 foot. My hands are pretty normal size, maybe a little pudgy, but I try to get in there and take stuff out with my glove on. I can't really reach in it with my glove on. So I'm not entirely thrilled about that, but it is what it is when stuff gets stuck. Mostly I try to keep stuff from getting stuck, which means I try to keep the branches to about 2.5 inches. And I think you saw how well the branches were going with that. And over here, it says on this one that I can't really get a good angle for you, but it says if engine stops or will not start, check oil level. Well, my engine stopped running earlier today, and I don't know exactly why that happened. There was a little bit of a fuel leak. I couldn't get it to restart, so I went ahead and check the oil level. It took about 2 ounces of oil. If I'm remembering correctly, it was 20 ounces to fill it initially. I tried to put about 4 in there, and at least 2 of it came back out. I let it rest for a little bit, and it ran flawlessly again. Now, I've used this, probably had it running a total, I've used it at my daughter's for several hours, used it here for about 5 hours yesterday, and probably a total of about 2 hours of runtime today. So somewhere between, right around 10 total running hours at this point. There is some maintenance they're supposed to do at 20 hours with it, and we'll go ahead and do that. As far as startup goes, it's pretty straightforward. This is the throttle here. This is the fuel. This is currently in the off position. When you go to start it, you move your choke. This is the choke, the gray one here. You move your fuel to open. I leave this down into just low, just off low, and then go ahead and crank it, and it cranks right up. If it stops while it's running, and then of course you have to have your on-off switch, which is the red one over here. If it stalls for whatever reason, you've got to clean something and you're just restarting it from running, you don't need to turn the choke back on. You can leave the fuel in the on position. You just want to turn this up just a little bit further, maybe about a third on the throttle, and it should start up for you. And then you want to be careful. I think I talked about that earlier with that choke. Don't run the choke back too quickly or it will stall it out. Now, one of the things I do like about it is the size of these tires here. These tires allow me to take it up and down my steps here up to my backyard and my pool area as I come from down that way by my garage with it, and I can bring it up here without a whole lot of difficulty. What I don't necessarily like about it is this handle here. It kind of keeps me bent over as I'm moving it. I wish it were up just a little higher. I wish it had an elbow in it that came up. Maybe I'll add that myself at some point. But if it had an elbow and a handle up here, it'd be a little easier to tilt and maneuver. As we walk down here, and this is the area where I bring it up, I just want to show you. So I was mulching 2 different types of branches. Ordinarily, I would wait until later in the fall if I could, but I got a lot of work to do this year. So what you can see here, and you can see the leaves that have fallen back there, but then you can see here, this is the mulch that is just primarily the branches without the leaves on it. And you can see it does a nice natural colored mulch to it. If you look over here, you can see the green. Why, that's the ones where I was doing the branches with the leaves still on. Of course, that'll eventually turn to brown and kind of mix in, and should work well here in this spot. This is a spot that in the backyard by our back patio there in our rec room. Not a lot of people come back this way, so not a lot of people will see this, and I'll probably, quite honestly, cover that up with the natural stuff, but I wanted to show it for what it was, as it looks like that. And then here are the steps that I was talking about, and this actually goes up a little easier than it comes down, and I'll show you that as I wheel it down here.
While we watch me go up to grab this and wheel it down, I will tell you that overall I've been pleased with how it works. There are a few little things. I wish it truly handled 3-inch branches, but like I said, I don't think it would handle a fresh cut 3-inch branch, and it would, because of the way that shoot is tapered for the chipper, it would have to be perfectly round. So you're limited to a 3-inch diameter in any direction is essentially what it amounts to. If you've enjoyed this video, feel free to hit like and subscribe. Feel free to comment if you're one who has this particular model, or if you have another model that you think would work better, or if you've had problems with it or good luck with it. Love to hear it. The more reviews, the more comments we get, the better this goes for everyone.